Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR with an update on Hurricane Humberto. And taking a look out there, I gotta tell you, I'm impressed, as is pretty much everybody, about Humberto's quick development. This time yesterday it was an area of disturbed weather, and now it's a hurricane inland over Louisiana and eastern Texas. You can see those two clusters of convection you typically get with these developing hurricanes close to land. Remember Claudette in '03. By the way, since this made landfall in Texas, it's the first official landfall of a hurricane in Texas since Claudette in July of 2003. Off the screen comes our depression, which could become a tropical storm later today. If it does, it will be named Ingrid, but it may have a difficult time ahead. I'll tell you why. First, here's the latest on Hurricane Humberto. Winds are 80 miles an hour still, and I mentioned yesterday that even though this is not extremely strong, as it's coiling up as it's making landfall, it's going to seem stronger than it is. And winds are gusting in certain regions, I'm sure, up to 105 miles an hour. We've already had gusts up towards 90. I believe Beaumont had a gust up to 84. So this is pretty nasty as it came into Texas and now into Louisiana. So certainly Humberto is a surprise. It's moving northeast at 11, 987 millibars. And again, it's already past that 30 north latitude at 30.3, 93.6 longitude. So Hurricane Humberto should weaken to a tropical storm and then depression by tomorrow and kind of meander here and maybe move a little bit more south. They need the rain up in this region, but they do not need it down here, and so we're going to have to see just what the rainfall impacts are. You can see we still have hurricane warnings in effect, as well as tropical storm warnings and tornado watches and warnings. In this region, of course, severe weather comes in as you have a landfalling hurricane in this situation. Here was the radar shot as it made landfall earlier today, about 4 hours ago, and you could see this was certainly tightening up. It reminds me a lot of Claudette in July of '03. Claudette was a system that we knew, Claudette was different. It was a longer track storm. We thought it would be a hurricane, and it spun up to 90. This got up to officially 85, but we'll see what the damage is. Hopefully it's not too severe, but again, a strengthening Category 1 hurricane is nothing to mess around with. You can see as of this time the radar imagery shows that the storm continues to move faster off now to the northeast, and we'll see if it can keep that fast motion. Again, Lake Charles right here, the eye wall right in this area. So Lake Charles shouldn't get in the eye wall, it doesn't look like, unless it bends a little bit more to the right. But you can see the eye of the hurricane has entered Louisiana at this time, and it's a pretty nasty hurricane, no doubt. You can see the water vapor here as it continues to move in, and right again there you have some convection firing up. So it's going to take a while for this vigorous circulation to spin down. Notice this huge blow up of convection. This should bring some moisture in, and a rainfall is the big threat with this. You can see the models kind of keep it around the Gulf Coast for a while, and most of them actually start to turn it back to the south. In fact, the GFDL has it making landfall again in northern Mexico in 5 days. The Hurricane Center track is in the middle of that and does have it coming into Mississippi, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what the indicators are with that. Now, out in the Atlantic, we do have Tropical Depression 8. This could become Tropical Storm Ingrid later today, and it is expected to become Ingrid, but then be a weak, ragged, unfavorable storm as it moves out here, and there is a lot of uncertainty. It could move a little bit further to the north and a lot weaker, or it could stay a little bit further south and maybe be in a bit more favorable environment. Either way, the thinking of this getting close to hurricane strength seems unlikely. I don't see this becoming a hurricane. You can see the models do show it heading anywhere within this cone here, which I know that's rather broad, the Hurricane Center going in the middle there. When you're dealing with a ragged system like this, it's kind of uncertain where it will go. The Hurricane Center thinks, though, that it will head generally in this direction. And exactly where it does go will dictate how strong it is. You can see the center exposed up there. So I don't really see why this can't be upgraded to a tropical storm if some satellite and microwave imagery show tropical storm winds. But if it is, it's just barely one. And again, the whole thinking with this system is that there is going to be this upper feature here that's going to create a weakness in the ridge. And so this will allow our system to move slowly off to the northwest or west-northwest, although right now it appears a little bit more to the west-northwest. In this general direction, and there should be some wind shear in this region which will weaken the system. So it could strengthen over the next 2 days to about 50-60 miles an hour and then weaken and be very weak. But if it does end up turning back west under a ridge of high pressure, it could potentially pose a threat to the United States in a few days and could actually be in a more favorable environment for strengthening. It has to make it through this barrier here, as so many storms in the past have had to do as well. Again, in summary, Hurricane Humberto, watch out if you're in Louisiana and anywhere along the Gulf Coast, because once the hurricane does weaken, which it should continue to do later today, even though it's still formidable, the rainfall will be the big threat, as this is not expected to move beyond this in 5 days. So imagine that. We're typically used to seeing storms moving way out in 5 days. This is not going to move a lot. And we'll have to keep an eye out. Watch this disturbed region off the East Coast. I'm not sure if anything will come of it, but keep an eye on it. Also in the Caribbean, it's that time of year. And then on the edge of the screen comes our next storm, which could be Ingrid, and we'll see if it survives or not, because if it does, it could end up posing a potential threat to land further west as a stronger system. So I'm Mike Naso from IPR. That's the latest on Hurricane Humberto. I'll see you next time.